documenting what it looks like when it's on, and it's about to go out if I do anything jerky. So when you do motions on the bicycle track, it goes back, and you can't see the spokes in it, but even though there was balls in it, they keep realigning and sticking on the spokes, and each time it does that, it allows the chain to work, but disabling it isn't visible to the naked eye. The spokes in this were supposed to be toast. I was just looking and trying not to think about it. I went down a hill and was kicking, and it started doing it again. Well, now I spoke too soon, just went out. Whoa. So the ball bearings inside the spokes disjointed right as I said that, and I was explaining it because they had set back on when the guy at the bike shop said it was impossible. Should I try it again? Absolutely. Just forget that they don't work and then they'll start working again. And so when there isn't safety environments, there's places of displeasure that can account for numerous activities, all of which that are cheat codes to try and emulate what a quantum computer would be, like putting 300 lights and cameras all around a giant buckyball and making a buckyball the size of an inner tube and putting the two together and saying it's one thing even though it isn't. The infinities at either end would try and emulate it to be a quantum mechanical system. And the more nonchalant it is, the more dangerous it is, because you don't think it would be, but it actually isn't. It's just a cheat code saying something that it isn't. Call a spade for what it is. Two ends of the spectrum, but they're the same thing. This is a non-zero sum game. If you have really strong people and then really weak people, it can be really old and really young. With the older fighting age, if you take something that was their family jewels and kick it after combusting it versus a really young kid who doesn't know how to read or do anything better, and then you have all these adults that are let out of a door and run and grab kids and start dancing with them in schools. And if you are doing anything that is against that, they call you a bigot. If something bad is happening at school, like teaching children to be something that they're not, and then the first thing they do is just call the police and then the police come and they say that you're trespassing and you can't report on here, even though they're trying to do stuff to save kids. And so the amount, if you stay there any longer, is going to be worse on your record because the police have different managers. So if you have a ball and then you have a boomerang and you put that on top of each other, it isn't the same thing as a consciousness inside of a body. And that's in a material world where if you're a globalist fighting a nationalist, you'll try every trick in the book to not have a war and make up every reason why there shouldn't be one. And how's the Great Reset, and you have to pay for it. So anything for an infinity amount. So it's just like the globalist versus the nationalist. Whatever they want to do to start a war, it would be like now they have to do anything because it's about hacks. In order to be an expert in any type of thing, the lingo is a thing that is used, and in the justice system it's a definite ability for a weapon, and when that is controlling of whatever the news media is putting out as what to root for, and the underdog can do things that are crazy to their opponent, it would make the bad guys look better. And in order to keep an upright, you can't be out with the far end of the news's clown world. unless you're specific on the measurements, it can make a whole world of difference. And something that a dividend is met with is either war or no war. And if there is, that you can apply pressure by doing things that are torturous. And then if someone else was doing that wasn't on your team, you wouldn't be biased. So here's a guy who just kept losing because there was nothing in the store that had a previous make of California, and it was the thing that helped for designated locations. And then another designated location is the smoke. We had some issues earlier, and I think that they're going to persist. I don't think that you can see if the balls are in alignment or not, but they're probably not. And so it's not going to catch on the bike chain to the wheel. I don't know why that would affect it, but it totally disables it.